All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly collective reading. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see everybody here. Thank you for taking some time out of your day or your week, depending on when you watch this. The collective reading, as the title implies, is for everybody present. We will have some specific messages for the signs. That'll be in the elemental portion. But everything else, it's for all of you that are here. So grab a cup of coffee or some water. Sit back, whether you're watching me on your phone, at home, in front of the TV, I don't care where. It's just great that you joined. So glad to see you. I'm feeling so much better. I'm about 3 weeks out of my old apartment, still looking for a new place, but oh my gosh, I feel like all my sinuses are completely cleared. And sorry, the dishwasher in the background is making some noise, but feeling so much better. Thank you guys for being patient. I'll be queuing up some new videos this month for the monthly reading, so keep an eye. The schedule will be different, but we'll get everything out, okay? So we're going to start, as always, with channeled messages. These come through in both dreams and meditation, and we got a little bit of both today. And let's get started. By the way, Apollo is right back there. He loves this couch in this temporary space that I'm in. So interestingly enough, as I was tuning into dreams this morning, it was kind of like I was playing the role of an investigator. I kept looking at things that were going on in the background, and I was seeing scenes from the Seven of Swords here. And so there were people that were trying to get away with things, that were not necessarily doing the right thing, non-disclosure, not telling the truth, and bad behavior, all of that. And so there could be someone this week that is testing your limits, trying to push your buttons. And I'm not sure if Maya originated the quote, but she definitely made it popular. When people show you who they are, believe them. It's something that I learned the hard way a couple of times. And I've talked about it before. I actually had someone once in my life that said, I'm not a good person. And they proved themselves right. And at the time, I always try to see the best in people. But when people say that now, I'm like, oh, thank you for the clarification. So if somebody takes the mask off, basically, then and you see something you don't like, be glad that you saw it now rather than later. So there could be a revelation, and it could be anywhere in your life, business, love, friendship, family. And when that happens, rather than getting upset or trying to convince yourself or the other person that what you're seeing isn't real, accept it and think, now what am I going to do about this? Now I know that there's this energy. How am I going to protect myself, focus on other things, and possibly unplug? So a powerful lesson that bears repetition. If somebody shows you their true self, believe them. Don't try to convince them that there's something that they're not. I think we've seen too many reality shows where there's fixer-upper houses and makeovers and all of this stuff. But when it comes to a soul energy, if somebody really isn't ready to be something that you need, let them be. And that's the message here. What you can do to make sure that people don't even have to go to that point is just lead with honesty, integrity, clear communication, set your expectations, and not only expect the same of others, but that's going to actually bubble down to all of the people around you. They're going to start to see that you're not someone to be trifled with. All right. That's the first pretty powerful message that came through. I hope that resonates. All right. So the next thing here is being energetically sort of wound up. So I was seeing a lot of different things in dreams that represent tight sort of energy, like a spring that you in a car, yarn, all these sort of like, a lot of it was like electronic or sort of like, well, mechanical, I should say. But it just felt like it all wanted to spring. It all wanted to go outward, kind of like the Big Bang energy. So I feel like some of you may just have a lot of pent up energy, anxiety, stuff that you just need to sort out. So I featured here the Eight of Cups because it's a great way to unwind, to clear your head. So that's taking a day, a week, a month, whatever you can do to just sort of say, I need to figure out where I'm at. Okay, major decisions should always come with a little bit of consideration time. If someone puts you on the spot, you should ask for more time. I remember once when I had to take a major job, like I didn't give myself the time to make the decision, and I regretted it later. Like I was forced to make a decision as we were walking around, and they were like, I really need the answer today. And I knew that I needed more time, and I knew I really didn't want to do it, but I said yes, and then it was difficult. So give yourself time. And if somebody rushes you, you could just say, this isn't something that should be rushed. If it's this important, I should have at least 24 hours so that I am absolutely ready and I can come to you with questions and I can come ready to run, you know? So anyway, that's what I would say. Some of you might need an external point of view, advice, counseling. Absolutely do that. This one is hard. Releasing attachments to the outcome, easier said than done. That's why the third party advice can come in handy, because someone can ask you questions that you're unwilling or unready to look at yourself, and that can help you make a better decision as well, okay? The next thing that I would say here is research, like the last three words, research, reset, maybe even rest, and then review. That is going to help you basically not get into something like I did before where it's like, what was I thinking? The problem is sometimes people want you to be in that sort of like, fight or flight mode where, you know, it's like, do it now. They know you're going to make a decision that may or may not be the best for you. So there we go. That's everything with the channel messages. Pretty powerful. And I hope that resonates and helps you. Okay, let's go ahead now and move on to the next portion. We're going to go into a granular 7-day forecast. By the way, the special topic today is what are you missing? So we'll keep an eye out on that even here, but specifically as we get into the Celtic Cross. So let me go ahead and do two things here. Let me select the deck that I want to use for this, and then I'm going to turn on my iPad in the background so I can make sure that I can monitor this as well. All right, how's everybody doing today? Leave me a comment. Let me know what's going on with you. I'll be right back. All right, thank you for that. I always like to just make sure that I have a monitor on the side, just in case there's any connectivity issues. So I'll pull it up in just a second. Here we go. All right, there we go. Let's get started here. Thank you for that. Sorry about the interruption. I always like to just make sure I can see what's going on here. Okay, so we'll give the cards a shuffle. We're going to focus here on the energy for the next 7 days. Starting with today. Okay, we got 2 for today, which is cool. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's move it all up so you can see it. Okay, we'll zoom out just a bit. Here we go. Okay. Let's begin with the energy of today, this Sunday. So, what a lovely card to come through. We have the Wheel of Fortune. And this is your chance to really take a chance on yourself. So sometimes we are so concerned about what everyone else thinks. What I like with this is this person, you actually see sort of like they're willing to take a bet or wager on their own future, their own fortune, because they believe in themselves. So it's really a test or a testament here to your own self-confidence and self-worth, which we've been talking about, it feels like, for the past year. So this is a chance to really start to see a return on that. Look at your finances before making a major decision. Create a plan or a chart of what it is you're trying to do, an outline. Get things starting to, like, just by putting it on paper, it creates that momentum, because sometimes I need that. As creative as I am and as non-mathematical as I am, I like to use a spreadsheet sometimes when I'm looking at, like even as I'm looking at properties, I'll look at square footage, price, things like that when I'm trying to find a rental to kind of help, plus the feel that I have. But that kind of helps me see what I'm looking at. So if you need to get organized, it's a day to get organized. And sometimes we have to practically kind of pull all of that together in a way that makes sense. So not a lot of fun, but it can actually help you out with that, researching, organizing, and clarifying, and then really understanding what your resources are. Then the other piece is emotional, which is just focusing on I am worthy, which I feel like I've also been talking about a lot lately. That sense of self-worth is so important. especially now. Okay, a great day though for any important types of meetings that you might have, to launch something, to sell something, to buy something, anything related to finances and money. It's in a very positive position. It's the ultimate card for finance. So there you go with that. A good day today, shall I say. All right, as we begin the work week, we have an upright page of swords, which means that communication is key. Things are starting to, it's probably going to be a fast-paced day. It's not as fast as the night, but it's pretty fast. Where you're going to see the speed could be in how many emails, phone calls, or just activities you have. Like there's a lot of things that require your attention. We see her multitasking here, this page. I think she might have one too many things on her plate. There's like birds flying around her. She's reading. She's got all these ideas that she's holding on to, and she's tiptoeing on that tightrope. It's a little two of pentacles to me. There's a little too much in the balance here. So say no, ask questions, delegate, even though that's normally 7 of Wands. I'm getting a lot of different other cards coming through with this page because she can do it, but should she do it? Is she giving things the attention that they require? These birds seem to be trying to get her to pay attention to something else, and she's focusing on that. It could just be good concentration, but take a moment to breathe. That's very much connected to what I talked about. Unwind, like step back. I think that's going to help you out. But when it comes to trying to get a signature, perfect day for that. If you need someone's approval, rubber stamp approval from a boss, a government organization or something like that, send it out on Monday. It's going to go through the channel faster, and you may actually get to that, gatekeeper faster than you think. So there you go. It's a good day for all things communication related. As we move on to Tuesday, balance. It's important. It feels like it could be a little bit, things might be out of balance, but if we take the advice that I was talking about for Monday, it may not be a big deal. But Tuesday, we have all these hands pulling in all these different directions, asking for things. You may need to let go of some stuff, or you may need to ask for some help on Tuesday because there's too much going on. Normally, there are scales on this card. There's a person holding scales and some coins, and they're figuring out how much time, energy, money, etc. to give to all of the hands that are always reaching out and asking for more. Typically, when we get this or 7 of Wands, it's because you're successful. It's because you're doing well, and people want more. And you just have to figure out if you want to give it, if you should give it, and where you need to kind of pull back, okay? Achieving balance is the core focus as we look at the energy of Tuesday. The other thing here is just work-life balance. Emotionally, are you getting what you need from all the different things that you're working on? Is there anything that that you really want to, see more of or less of? And that's the call to action. We have some really interesting things coming through at the midweek here with Judgment and then the 10 of Cups. These two cards stuck together, and I can't remember which one came first, so we're just going to read them in tandem. The Judgment card is the more higher ranking of the two. In the reverse state, it is saying don't second guess yourself. This is perhaps the reveal that I was talking about. And I mentioned it could come anywhere in your circle of people in your life, friends, family, colleagues, etc. So someone may come through and they may show you that they are better than you thought, that there is a redeeming quality that was never, shown, that they've changed, but they may also show you that they haven't changed, or there was something that they were hiding. So whether it's showing growth and metamorphosis or stagnation, maybe even something that you didn't want to see, whatever it is, it's coming through now so you can make a better choice in the long run. You know whether you're going to stay or go with this relationship. And again, it could be business. When we're looking at things business related or money related, really make sure that you agree with the terms. Judgment reverse can be disagreement, disbelief, or something that just isn't going in the direction that you've been taught, you just even feel like doing. So this isn't a time to go against the grain in that respect, okay? What could be coming through, though, is a lot of support, a lot of friendship, a lot of chances to mix and mingle, and maybe a karmic connection. So this, if you're looking for love, would be like a soulmate. And I like to remind people, soulmates just have baggage, right? It can be good baggage. You can open it up and there's beautiful gifts inside. It can be like heavy baggage, like Jacob Marley from, A Christmas Carol, where it's all the chains and anchors. So take a moment and tune in when you meet someone that you feel like you have that karmic connection and think, Is it light or is it heavy? How do I feel when I'm around them? Do I feel triggered? Do I feel flustered? Or do I feel like just really light, happy, and like I want to spend more time? Let that be your deciding factor on how much energy you choose to invest in that. And maybe what it is that you want to focus on in the process as well. All right, so that's the midweek. We're looking really good and again, it could be bubbling over, it could be positive. So as we look at Thursday, really good energy around people, love, self-love. Ace of Cups is what we look for as a sort of indicator that you're prepared for partnership. The cup needs to be overflowing before you can exchange or offer it to someone else, right? So that's why we start with this one. And then the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you usually see it kind of overflowing. So really focus on what we talked about a little bit today, this feeling of I am worthy, I am deserving of this. If you meet someone and you think they're out of my league, no, not if they're interested in you. You're in the same league, but the disbelief is what you need to let go of. And that could be also what this is, a lack of confidence in your own self-worth because you are greater than the sum of your earthly parts. And certain people on this planet can see all of that. They can see through the sort of physical and also see the energy, and they're loving all of it. And you may put more preference on one or the other, but they're liking the full package. So you should love the full package as well, mind, body, and spirit. And we typically in media and in society, we put too much on the body. Not enough on the mind, definitely not enough on the spirit. So we see someone here who may see all of it, and together it's amazing. And we're all amazing when we put all of those together. But again, sometimes we just say, oh, they're a great mind or they're a great beauty. Why can't they be both? Why can't they be all of that? Why do we have to compartmentalize these components? Why aren't we looking at it holistically? So what you're looking at on Thursday is the holistic approach. Not just because we were told in the channeled messages the facade can be misleading. I really want you to go beyond the facade, go deeper, kind of like feel it out with your heart. How do you feel on a heart and soul level? Okay? And I know, like, it's go deeper. That's really the message on Thursday. Very rarely would I get that with the Ace of Cups, but the combination of all the cards plus the channel message, that's what this is about. But traditionally speaking, it's a great day for any type of meeting, any type of interaction. You're in a good place where people just feel open to you. So if you need to meet with someone, if you want to go on a date, if you want to hang out with somebody, it's a great day to do all of that. All right, Friday, making plans, seeing some beginnings of those plans come to fruition. All good stuff, folks. Okay, so Two of Wands. Some of you might be a little bit, it's like you could be daydreaming, you could be bored, you could just be thinking there has to be something more. There can be if you want it. So this is saying if you want it, what are you going to do to make it come through into your life? We see her sketching stuff out, spinning the globe, looking outside and thinking, maybe I can do this. Maybe I will do this. Everything starts with the thought, can I, should I, will I? And then once you think I am going to do this, then it all starts to happen. So all great things start here. And then you start to bring it into the world. And that's what Friday's about. And however you want to bring it into the physical realm, sketching it out, having a conversation, researching, they're all parts of the Two of Wands because you have to kind of see what's available. So don't limit your thoughts. And it's like, this is especially true in a brainstorming session. If you are working with somebody or if you're talking to a child in your life and asking them what they want to be, don't cast judgment on their choices. Say, that's interesting. Tell me about that. Why do you like that? Follow up with questions or yes and, but don't shoot ideas down. You really want to stay expansive within and around you. And that will help you see all of the possibilities, and that is very much aligned to the question, what are you missing? Some of you might be missing something because of one of those thoughts. I can't, I won't, people won't like this, etc. That doesn't have a space, especially on Friday, okay? Let's look at the weekend here. Let me just shift these up a little bit. Okay, don't work so hard. I feel like I just talked about this in our daily reading today. I did in the one card. As we look at Saturday, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. I do feel like some of you could benefit from just a little bit of self-care on this day. What I like about this card is it is a surviving card. No matter how hard people may try to push you down, extinguish your flame, you're like, I'm still burning bright. I'm not going anywhere. But typically we see someone with bandages somewhere on their body, usually around the forehead, but I've seen it sometimes in other parts. It's saying you're not worse for the wear sometimes. So take it easy on yourself and just think, it's about getting resilient in your thoughts, thinking I can do this, I will do this, but I might need to take a 5-minute nap first just to kind of clear my thoughts, and pace yourself. That's the main thing that I get here. Pace yourself and don't let anybody push you to do something you don't want to do. Just say, no, thank you. And you have the power to finish something. You're very close to completion. 10 of Wands would be that completion. So don't give up, folks. I mentioned I saw a little bit of this energy here. It's coming through, just in case you missed it, to basically focus on a week from today. You have to make choices with the Two of Pentacles. You can't do everything. You're being torn in directions, and that energetic thread can break. We don't want that to happen. We want you to have the balance that you deserve and need. And a lot of times it is a choice between, like she has a purse here, it could be money versus what it is that your heart wants, or where it is that you might just be happier. So you have to weigh it out. Money, title, prestige, success, and that sort of like term, it's something. It isn't everything though. Happiness, fulfillment, extra time, the ability to be free. You got to weigh out the choices and really just focus on your balance in your life between whatever one or two things that you really need to kind of find that balance between. That's the focus, making some choices. Let's look at high points and possibly challenges during the week. The good news, folks, is it's pretty much a week of possibilities. There's nothing here that alarms me at all. We don't have Devil, Tower, 10 of Swords, or anything. The 7 of Swords is beneath the surface, and I think it's really here. So that is your core challenge here, because there's something internal that, again, you could see something that seems good. Everybody else thinks it's great, but you don't. I want you to trust yourself. Wednesday is the test of self-trust. I think the other challenge is probably Tuesday, because there's a lot going on. Tuesday and Sunday, they're very similar. These are balancing cards. So we could just say energetically across the week, creating, establishing, and maintaining balance. That's the core challenge. Opportunities. Today is a great day. This is one of the high points, and I think Thursday is also a very high point. Thursday and Friday together are very, very powerful. Monday's amazing. So like I said, this isn't a week where there's major concerns aside from overextending yourself or doing too much or not getting enough for some of the energy that you're putting out there. Okay, we're going to now go a little bit deeper into the elemental forecast. So this is the place where we can get a little bit more specific with signs. And the rest of this reading, again, is going to stay in the energy of the collective. Let me pick a deck, and then we're going to shuffle. I've already got my main deck selected, so let's see what I want to do for the side one. All right, fire. We've got 2 for earth, so we'll let it be. Air and water. Okay, let's begin with fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Self-care in the way of focusing on emotional sensitivity this week. Queen of Cups in the upright position is very, very powerful because she's persuasive. She's charismatic. She's able to use her emotions and creativity in a way that is alluring and magnetic. In the reverse, she is overwhelmed by something. It could be joy. Joy can overwhelm us. It could be stress or fear or anxiety. There could just be a lot of stuff going on around her. So the most important thing you can do is to take a step back, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Take care of yourself. Find an outlet or a way to communicate what it is that you are feeling. And then from that, you'll have focus. You'll be able to breathe. You'll be able to you basically put your energy behind what matters most. There could be love coming in at an inconvenient time. You may find it a little bit more difficult to engage in social activities this week as well. So pace yourself. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to say yes to everybody. And that's the main message when we're looking at this card. Let me see if there's anything else specific to this illustration. I think that's pretty much it. Don't be afraid to offer something up to someone as well. So if there's an idea or if you're interested, you may have to kind of take that first step. Even if that's not exactly where your comfort zone is, it's where the energy is, okay? So that's everything for fire signs. Let's move on from fire to earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You got 2 cards. The presenting, they're both reversed, so let's just look at them. They're 2 power cards at that. So there could be a tug of war between someone around you who thinks they know better. The Empress can be a mom, a boss, a friend who just thinks, you have to do it this way. Listen to me. And you're thinking to yourself, but that's not what I want. I want to drive the ship in this direction. I want to turn the chariot over here. So you don't have to ask for permission when it's something that really, really feels right to you. Do what you're feeling like is most important and most connected to your integrity, to your desires, etc. There could also be too many cooks in the kitchen. So at work or in any sort of situation, there may be people that feel equally entitled to be the decision maker. There's going to have to be some give and take. And I believe because the Empress card was the presenting one, you have a chance to walk away from this in a better position because you can show how to navigate a tricky situation or conversation. And it really is just about it doesn't have to be right or wrong. It's the fine art of compromise. So be willing to compromise some of what you want to help the other person see how letting go of a little bit of this can give them some of that. And that's the key thing here. Take a break from all of this other stuff, all of these people who feel like they have a say in your life. Pull back a little bit here and really focus on what you want. That's what the universe is asking. What do you want? The Empress card is very powerful, very creative, very nurturing. So make sure you're putting that energy inward. That's the last message. This is the Eternal Mother card in the Major Arcana. So take care of yourself, pamper yourself, very connected to the daily card reading that I just pulled for this Sunday. Okay, there you go. All right, moving on from all my earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, now looking at air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We have an echoing of what came through for next Sunday, the 2 of Pentacles. Here you can see the tightrope that is part of this kind of energy. And the good news is I feel like you're going to be successful in juggling a lot of different things, but it's important not to overdo it. There are limits to how much, how often, and if you want to kind of do all of these things. So you're going to be asked to make a choice. We saw it reversed when I was looking at the weekly spread, but the air signs are going to be able to figure it out and find a way to make it work. And the fact that these are in the air means that there could just be 2 things happening at once. Figure out where your attention can be focused most and best, and then ask for help on the other thing. It doesn't mean that one thing doesn't happen. It just means like in any day, we have a lot of priorities. You just have to figure out the core focus for that day and that week. And that's the main thing here. And the bigger question whenever the 2 of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles comes through is just on, the balance in your life that brings you joy. So what is it that you love? Since we did get the Ace of Cups as I was looking at the main spread. What is it that you love? What are you doing to create space for that joy in your life? Okay, let's move on to the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We have strength coming through in the upright position. Puts you in a really good situation here. Let's say someone comes through and they're demanding. What I like about this card is we don't see the subjugation, the sort of like overpowering energy. Usually the female figure is opening the mouth of the lion. Here they're just both powerful, both present, both cool, calm, and collected. So you can find a way where it's not about who gets the last say, whose name is first, what's going on. It's like we can both win. We can both hold hands and walk through the door together and show that this is a partnership, not a competition. And that's the elevated version of strength. Both people can be strong in this card. But the traditional illustration shows that if someone tries to get the better of you, they're going to regret that. You're going to be okay. It is a card where I say you don't want to stay in that energy too long because it's exhausting, but you can win, you can prevail with any major challenge that comes your way. So if you're having a tough day, a tough week, remember what I said with this card. Just push a little bit and you'll be happy that you did, and you shouldn't have to keep doing that. That's the takeaway. After that, figure out what can I do to minimize the repetition of whatever this confrontation was, okay? But if you have a difficult sort of conversation that you need to have legally, professionally, personally, romantically, this is the time to have that tough conversation, because you'll find the words, you'll find the strength. I mean, literally, we can read it at face value. And your partner, your friend, the other person is going to see you as an equal, okay? Pretty darn good. Could be a Leo coming into your life as well. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the special topic for today. This one is fun. I mean, I like it when there's something where I have to play the role of investigator, and I feel like that's what I'll be doing today. So the special topic is, what are you missing? And it's kind of like, I like to look at this as both, what opportunity are you missing? And maybe when we were looking at some of the shadow energy, what are people doing in the sidelines that may or may not be good? So we're going to look at both the shadow and the light, as all balanced readers would. So take a moment here, if you will, close your eyes. Let go of any preconceived notions that you have as to what's going to show up, what should show up. Just let's call in the guides, the angels, and the ascended masters, and allow them to do the work through my selection of the cards, and then we'll work together to interpret. Okay, let's see what's coming through. Interesting that Judgment came through right at the center. Especially Judgment and Justice, so there's a lot to talk about. Here's the Devil. Okay. Connected to Seven of Swords energy as well. All right. I'm going to be quiet here on my chatter while I pull the rest of the cards. Okay, one more comment. I love that we got Lakshmi in wealth. That's very auspicious. And we have two cards that show like ends and beginnings here. All right. Let's begin here with the catalyst energy for this weekly special topic here. So it sometimes feels like it's the end of the world, right? Apocalypsis, or the apocalypse. So the truth is, we are constantly going through reinvention. I mean, that is why Judgment came through at the center. Souls rising up from the dead. Here we see this beautiful bear spirit coming through, but typically it's a card that shows souls rising up. We saw just even that higher self coming through. When we go through a tricky situation in our life, that's when we show the true potential. That's when human nature really reveals itself. Sometimes the best of humanity comes out in the worst of times. And I think that's the takeaway from this card. If something really, really negative or triggering happens, that's the time to rise up. That's the time to lead with the heart, not with the mouth, but with the heart. Let that kind of bring the higher energy there. And so leading with love, leading with compassion and empathy, and really trying to work together. That's what I get with this. It can bring out the best, but there could be some serious challenges. And sometimes there's this feeling of, where is this leading, right? Because we have the Death card in reverse, but this Death also has a Phoenix on it. So in those moments of, ending, we also have something beginning here as well. So cyclically speaking, there's some major shifts, major changes, major entrances and exits happening in this particular week. So buckle up, relax, and, again, try to find your best energy throughout all of that. Okay? Okay. So here's what we see. We have Judgment, we have Death. This is in Hopes, Fears, and Opportunity. Death and judgment are very closely related, even if they're not next to each other. This is 13, this is 20. But this is what happens after this. So when something closes, then the souls rise up. I'll pull the traditional one here because I do think it's important to see that illustration. So the chance right now is not to repeat history. There we go. Thank you, universe, for making that really close. So here's your traditional judgment card. So literally we have souls rising from the dead, ascending to something bigger, better, and brighter. Whatever chapter closed, rest assured it closed for a reason. We're not supposed to go back to the way it was, whether it was a few years ago, a few decades ago, etc. This is about forward momentum. And that's really what this moment is. Go higher, elevate thoughts, actions, and also expectations, and let's not repeat history again, okay? Also, you're not stuck. You are not stuck. You have a chance now. This is your higher self calling, saying, why not try a different version of yourself? And we can see it here in the death card. The soul is rising and coming through. We have like a butterfly. We have this higher soul, the cycle of a rebirth, death and rebirth coming through. I was thinking of the sickle or the scythe that death carries. But it is a chance to sort of reap a new opportunity in your life, not go again. So suffice it to say, a new chapter where you can't repeat, where you can't go back and rewind, where nostalgia is not the purpose and regret is not the purpose either. Judgment also is about accepting what you've already decided. This is the big thing when it comes to this card. I feel on some levels you already know if you want to stay or go. You already know if it's going to be okay or if it's going to be work. And all you have to do now is decide what you're going to do about it. Very much like the Oracle in the Matrix movie. She's like, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to help you understand why you made your decision. And that's kind of what this judgment card is about. You've made a decision, but you haven't accepted it yet. And so this week is really focusing on the acceptance. Tune in, meditate, it will come through. I love that we have rainbows, we have that bear energy coming through. It's going to be okay, folks. On top of this card, we have Prince of Wands, or the Knight of Wands, basically. So this is about moving an idea forward. And we have strong Leo energy in this particular card too. But anyway, moving an idea forward. So to have it up here is one thing, but what are you doing to kind of breathe life and bring it into the real world? So this is IRL, basically, in real life. What are you trying to do to bring it into the real world? And any energy that you put into that will be rewarded. So having a conversation, sending an email, doing some research, talking to someone, sending out an application, it is both, there's action associated with this, but it is also thoughts. And you could also be putting it into some sort of an organizational form, which we talked about, and today is a great day to do that. So this connects with that. What I see here also is to go bigger in the idea. So we have a unicorn, which is imagination, which is fantasy, but it's also about imagining something bigger and better. You actually see this on royal crests. Isn't this on like the English royal crest? Unicorns are there for a reason, and it is to just show the sort of like magic and prestige and the possibilities, something bigger than life. So let's, like, especially for those of you that are creative or trying to come up with a new product or something like that, just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean that it can't. And when we look at things like iPads and iPhones, and you go back to the original Star Trek series, the tricorders or whatever they were called, there's definitely like some of this stuff, and the Bluetooth earpiece that Uhura had, all that stuff, like it's inspired by science fiction. Science fiction can become science fact. That's why I love fantasy and sci-fi. You have to imagine it and then see, well, why can't I do it? Or how can I do it? Or how can we try to adapt this to reality? So don't let anybody try to pull your heads out of the clouds when it comes to big ideas this week. You could be missing out on the next big thing, particularly for my engineers, innovators, and dreamers out there. You could come up with something, so don't give up. Okay, the Hermit. It's probably the reaction to this. Big events, big changes sometimes force us to go inward. And this can also be like, by the way, we could look at this as the Tower. So death, birth, retirement, moving, anything big. makes us want to kind of go inward and think, I just need to spend a moment and recover, figure out what it is that I want to do. So take some time. It is in the past. There's not a lot of time to put into that. If I had to give it like a day maybe or something, just to kind of like take care of yourself. But there's a lot of action and a lot of decision making this week. So front load this resting energy. And then there's a lot to do this week. And I feel like a lot of possibility in growth. So that's good. Okay. 10 of Wands. An overdue move, a move coming to its completion. I can relate to this one. But there's something that needs to cyclically end here. I love this illustration because we see the bear kind of putting its claws into the back of this guy. And we could see it as a symbol of strength, like, I've got your back, let's go. But we can also see it as someone pushing you, like, do this or make the decision now or do it my way. So in that respect, you're like, hey, bear, get off my back. But you could also find your inner bear strength, which is nobody can stop me. So it's definitely like the graduation version of the 9 of Wands. So I prefer that. Like you find this ability to stand strong and tall and kind of embody the energy of the bear, which is like, don't mess with me, right? But if somebody else is pushing you, you can just push right back on that, okay? This is typically a card that in the traditional sense would show a little bit of a burden. Getting that last mile in a race, in anything that you're doing, it's the hardest piece. Even the last few steps, your body is tired, like if you're in a marathon and you just think, I can't do it, but you can. So just not giving up in this sort of final stretch, I think, is really important. And if you need some cheerleaders in real life to help you get to that finish line, absolutely, okay? Say no. If you need to, for any purpose in your life, if there's something that you don't want to do, just say it. Justice reversed, simply put, is no. It's also fighting injustice or creating better balance when there is an existing imbalance in your life. So in the upright position, she's perfectly balanced and everything's flowing, everything's in the right direction. Interestingly enough, I love the kind of contradictory energy. We have a peacock, but then we have what is kind of like divine feminine. So it's the balance of everything. You shouldn't have to just be this or that, black or white, male or female, it's sort of like saying what we were talking about earlier. It's the big picture, mind, body, and spirit. So you might be pushing back on people trying to categorize or put you in a box. You're more than that one label, whatever that label is. You're like, actually, no. I'm also this, and this. Don't forget about that, right? So you're pushing back on this human desire to categorize and label. Labels are silly. They don't really serve the higher purpose here. You can also say no, and you can also create balance. And if something is wrong, it may be time to seek legal counsel. All of those things are coming through. And they're connected to El Diablo here, the devil coming through. And it's interesting here that the devil is holding you back from the rebirth that we have in the Judgment card. I kind of like the illustration on this one. So we see two people here ready to kind of enter into a new cycle of rebirth, but they're tethered by the energy of the devil here. And so there could be a person in your life that just is afraid of allowing you to go to the next step. Sometimes it's a parent. Empty nest syndrome, they don't want to let you go. Sometimes it's a teacher or an advisor or a boss because they're like, I really love having you in my life. It could just be that kind of attachment, which usually goes away in time, but it can be unhealthy if the cords are not severed. If someone comes through and shows you their true self, believe it. So we see the heart here, but we see the heart kind of broken. You had your heart set on someone being a certain way, but they're not. That was your projection. Let their reality be whatever it is and focus on yourself. Ultimately, this is a card of power, and it is a low version of the Lovers. So side by side, they have almost the same characteristics. This one carries with it conditions, controls, and basically a lack of truth. So it's all the shadow versions of unconditional love, truth, and freedom, and giving yourself space to breathe. So that's all you have to focus on is the elevated version of it, and avoid control issues, having to possess or to control or to decide for someone, and walking away from anybody that tries to put that energy out there, okay? There could be a Capricorn coming into your life for those that are looking for love, but I had to first talk about the devil energy because it connects more with like judgment, justice, and death. Like it really feels like some of you are ready to walk away from this, feeling like you have to stick with someone or something. I mean, it's over and something new is starting. You say no, and it's really over. It's like that Taylor Swift lyric, like we're never getting back together, like ever, like that sort of thing. Ever, we're done, stick a fork in it. That kind of finish. So like that's what I'm kind of getting with this. How are you showing up? Pretty darn good this week. 2 of Cups. So this connects with the Ace of Cups energy that I saw, that I said was necessary. Before you can offer the cup, it needs to be overflowing. Otherwise, you're looking for someone else to fill the cup. You need to be able to have enough for you and for them, and they need to have the same. That way, there's an even exchange. It is a great week to connect with new people, to have important conversations with existing people, and to have some fun. I love the little playful dolphins at the bottom of this. So make room for love and joy in your life. I think it's really, really important, right? And I'm seeing some comments about control. Absolutely, it could be a controlling partner. We'll look at that when we go to love. But this is where it should go, is equal. I mean, the control thing only happens when one person feels like they're stronger or have more authority or more entitlement than the other person. What we're looking for this week is this, equality. And it was very much connected to that strength card that I pulled earlier as well. Okay? What's going on in the environment? This is maybe something that you could be missing. We have the Queen of Wands energy coming through. There's so many lions coming through. I almost feel like there must be a Leo in the presence of some of you this week because it just keeps showing up. But anyway, Queen of Wands. There's an opportunity to excel in work, in business, in taking that idea that we talked about here at the center and bringing it to the next level. This is also a partnership card. I like a knight and a queen as a match. They're pretty good. The only thing there is a little bit of sense of, again, maybe one person being more the boss. It would be this. So there's a bossy person around you, for sure. The Queen of Wands knows what she wants, when she wants it, how she wants it, and she's not afraid to say. She could be connected to this because they're right by each other. Remember, you are fighting for your equality. You have to believe it for that person to see it, particularly the Queen of Wands. She has to know that, you believe in your power, and then she'll believe in it too. So there's a little test that's being done here. And the opportunity this week is to get to the point where you're willing to just stand your ground. Fear is what I'm picking up on for like overcoming fear or anxiety. That is going to help you meet that Queen of Wands energy and dispel whatever challenge might be in front of you. Okay? But for everyone else, this is a chance this could be a mover and shaker. So if you come prepared to the party, it could be an important business meeting because right beneath it is this. She could drive a hard bargain, but you are going to be able to push through that and create something better. So I feel like you're actually positioned well this week, but there is something in front of you where the offer, the contract, something needs to be sweetened or sort of like revised a bit. Don't say yes to something that is not balanced for both of you, okay? Or limits your potential. All right, as we look at hopes, fears, and opportunities. Seeing an end as a beginning, not seeing it as the apocalypse, right? So this is a chance for you really to rise up like this phoenix and say, I am stronger because of this. I am wiser because of this. I am not repeating history. I am ready to try something different. And looking at the soul lessons that you've acquired so far and really deciding what else do I need or want in this lifetime. Death is just a point on a continuum, and that's why this is coming through here. Now, there's an important thing here. So I'll just give you a little chapter out of my own life because I think it helps as a medium to share with other people that are working on their mediumship and their intuitive skills. So partly because I work so hard and I want to give you guys what you need, but I stayed longer than I needed to in my apartment. But I had some dreams where I saw the angel of death come through and basically show me that would be detrimental to stay there any longer. And I got the message because I only see the angel of death. I've seen it come a few times when people in my own life were in danger, and I was like, okay, I got it. I'm leaving now. Death can just be like, change. This is time, move. If you don't, it's going to be harder for you. It can be in a relationship. You could be staying too long in a relationship that has run its course, a living situation like I was. It can also be a health wake-up call. These things can be intertwined because being unhappy makes you unhealthy. So it's time, folks. It's time to let go of something. It will be okay. It won't be fun going through it. It isn't usually, but it'll be worth it in the long run. You'll look back and think, thank goodness I let that go, right? And it could be letting go of even like material things or a title in a job or something like that. They don't matter. We can't take it with us. So for those of you who have been through a fire or like me, been through a situation where it's mold and I have to give up everything, it's not the end of the world. They're just objects. If you've got your lungs, your brain, your health, your pet, the people that you love, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So let go of the other stuff. It's attachments. You'll be okay. You can recreate all of that, but you can't recreate you. What do you want? That's the main thing this week. If you know what you want, spirit can show up. If you don't, it's harder. Reminds me of an old Bangles song. This dates me. But yeah, there's a song that was a cover that they did, If She Knew What She Wants. But that's basically what is coming through here. Songs will pop into my head as I see certain cards here. You got to know what you want in order for the universe to line a path up for you, to make it happen faster. Otherwise, instead of seeing synchronicities, it's serendipity. It's like, happy luck. But I think it's much more powerful. I really don't believe in serendipity so much. I think it's still a synchronicity, but it's just harder to get sometimes. But when you're prepared, when you're clear, when you're ready, more of them open up more quickly. So people that are very lucky in business, they're just very aware and they see all the portals and they take them all. Where others of us are kind of like, we've got our head to the pavement and we're not looking around. Look around, see what's going on. That what in the environment could be a mover and shaker, like I said, okay? Okay, let's take this to the expanded forecast now. We're going to go into health, wealth, love, and destiny, specifically with the lens of what are you missing. I kind of like last week when we were focusing almost specifically on the oracle, so I'm going to pull a little bit of that in this week because it helps make it more concise. So specifically, we're going to start off with health first, mind, body, and spirit. What are you missing? That was the prompt. Sorry about that. That was the prompt. What's the answer? So we have Raguel coming through, waves of healing. Be open and vulnerable, and this will initiate healing and harmonious resolution. Vulnerability is not easy, right? Being vulnerable. We sometimes have to push the facade of strength when we're scared, trying to, kind of puff up our chest and show, like being afraid of showing a moment of weakness. I think it's important to show that it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be sad. We push them beneath the surface. We suppress them. I talked about suppression in the daily card pull, suppressing the inner child, but we also suppress all of the emotions that we don't like. When you suppress them, you're feeding this. The devil wants you to suppress things. Don't suppress what you're feeling. Understand the source and go to the source and neutralize the source. Don't suppress, but neutralize it. Fix it. If you're sad, what is the source of it? If it's chemical, that's one thing. If it's environmental, that's another. Figure out where and how it's coming. It can be a combination of all these things, but knowing where it's coming from can help you. And then really allowing your body time to heal. Your body, your mind, your heart, and then also just the program that we create in our head, which is part emotional, but also part, it's like stuff we were taught, and we have survival techniques that we go through. So it's rewriting the program this week in a large way. That's the big takeaway. So what you might be missing is a chance for healing. And what you should be focusing on is healing and not suppressing something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Focus on it instead. Shine the light. That's what the hermit is doing, shining the light, getting some insight, not being afraid of that. Okay? Let me take a quick drink and then we're going to quickly look at it. I want to focus more on the oracle cards this week and then a little less on the spread. Okay. This is really important when it comes to health. I mean, these two together, the devil and the death card, it's a habit. It's an environment or a relationship. Habitually, it can be something like smoking, drinking, and anything that isn't creating just a sense of better health in your life. Environmentally, like what I was going through, it could be something that risks your health, right? But generally speaking, it's saying, I'm ready to let go of this. It's not serving any higher purpose. Like, isn't it interesting that every single card at the center is about moving on? The 10 of Wands, something coming to a close, and it's literally travel. Judgment, rising up from whatever this was and becoming something bigger, better, brighter. The devil, untethering yourself. Death, saying goodbye. It's all movement. And even though this isn't a major arcana card, it's still major. So major change in movement in health this week. Moving on, saying goodbye, letting go, whatever you need to do to get healthier. Super important, okay? And by the way, I'm not really afraid of archetypal figures in dreams. So death has come through many times. I even made it a main character in one of my novels. So there are different angels of death. Azrael, of course, Zerachiel, but any actual archangel, Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, etc., they can play the role of an angel of death because they're just delivering a soul to the next level. So it's when death comes through, archetypally, we're talking about this, it is about needing to release something. It's saying it's done. We're done with that. It's a period or a full stop at the end of a sentence. And death comes through to remind you, like, over here, focus on that, stop that. It's not helping you. And that's it. It's a very stern angel, but it's a very important one. And it isn't always a physical death. It's usually spiritual, metaphysical, symbolic. It's saying you're letting go of that. It's a metamorphosis. And that's what the angel of death really symbolizes. So in health this week, you can transform, you can move above. You may have a close brush with something like I did. I had a really rough 3 or 4 weeks. That's why I've had to slow down the pace of things. And I had to go on steroids and things to kind of like clear up all the congestion. So you can have a wake-up call where it's close, but if you listen to it, death is there to help you and help you get back on your feet. So for some of you, there's something going on in your life where death as a card here is coming through and saying, what are you doing? Why are you here? You know it's time to stop smoking, stop this job, let go of this relationship, improve your eating or exercise habits, whatever it is. This is the call to action. And if you do it now, then it's going to help you in the long run be healthier and happier, okay? So that's the main thing. Do your research? Absolutely. Get a second or third opinion? Absolutely. That's what this represents. It may be time to travel or move, 10 of Wands, and move on from this, whatever this might be. It's different for all of you. Say no, maybe fighting something legally if there's something that affected your health. And if you don't like someone or something, like when it comes to an opinion medically, make sure that they're not controlling as well. You can say, no, I don't want to do that, or I need more information, okay? Let's see what else is here. So this is death in reverse is overcoming stagnation or your own stubbornness and getting clear in the head. So by the way, the 7 of Cups can also be, it's interesting, we've got a bird back there. As I'm looking at this card, there was a bird flying behind me. It's really lack of concentration. So some of you may be so busy, so focused on things that it's difficult for you to get the clarity that you need. So changing the environment can help as well. For students, it can be like going to the library or student union. For everybody else, going to Starbucks or taking a walk with the dog, whatever you need to do to clear your head. Generally speaking, it feels like there's one major wake-up call for most of you this week. Heed that call. And that's it. I mean, I feel like we covered everything we needed to. Better balance, saying no to something, moving beyond something. 10 of Wands, for those of you that work with, like if you carry heavy things or emotionally you're carrying a heavy load, this is really about finding a way to not have to bear that load alone, to be able to reach out to someone for some help or some assistance. Okay? That's everything for health. Let's go to wealth. I said earlier, as I was trying not to kind of comment on everything, oh my gosh, look, we got Lakshmi here coming through. Literally prosperity here. I can't remember if, I think this might be the next sign that I'm doing. I talked about a Kate Bush lyric in one of the recent readings where it's from Cloud Busting, and she says, even saying it could just make it happen, right? So sometimes if we just give ourselves permission to speak our dreams, it's so interesting, like on birthdays, like make a wish, but don't tell me. No, make a wish and tell people. Bring it out. Use your voice. We need to get away from secret wishes. If there's something that you want or need, put it out there so the universe can know, so others can know. You don't have to keep a wish secret. It's more powerful actually if you don't. So Lakshmi is coming through to help you get to your prosperity. She's encouraging you to focus. Remember, in the 7-day card spread, we had the Wheel of Fortune for today. So look at your money and look at things this week. It's really, really important, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the cards now. I'm going to go higher level on all of this because, I want to kind of give the energy here. So you can do it. You're going to end possibly a period of not having enough or someone holding the strings to you. And you're going to, for some of you, this could be going independent, kind of like a singer that has to go indie or a writer. And you're like, I don't need the major publication house or label. I want to do this on my own. Okay, 3 categories quickly for those in a job, looking for a job, and then students and retirees. If you're in a job, it's pretty clear to me that there is a need for more freedom of thought, freedom of communication. There may be a glass ceiling. There could be promises that have been made but not kept. The main thing this week is to be the boss. So if you want to stay in an environment where they've been letting you down, it's really about saying, especially if it's been put into writing, you promised me this, it didn't happen, like this isn't right. So you're trying to right a wrong. But if that inequity is there, the bigger thing here is like, why are you staying? So there's definitely a call for change or movement. You can stay in a company and transfer to a new group, division, or boss. You can stay in the same industry but move to a different job. It feels like something needs to happen, even if it's a lateral move, something of that nature. And if there's someone who's controlling or isn't doing something right, you could stay and work with HR to fix it. You can't do it alone, though. This isn't a fight to do alone. This is a fight to do with somebody. And then I do see a resolution. It definitely can happen, but it is a fight. So the question is, do you want to fight that fight? For everyone else, you might be working too hard. That's the main thing. We can look at it on the highest level, which is it's unhealthy to do so much, and all you have to do is say no. It doesn't have to be a bad workplace. It could just be you trying to do too much, and the cards are coming through saying burnout, it's not good. Health issue could come through with this. We don't want that. Okay? Moving on to those of you that are seeking a job. You're invited to not try to get the same job, and you're invited to not push for someone to accept you that has rejected you. That rejection is protection. So you want this job, but you keep getting denied. It's okay. There's something better. There's a better connection out there for you. You might have an opportunity come through, but they're asking you to accept less than you're worth or give away intellectual property, or you're going to sign some sort of non-competitive or non-disclosure agreement, and it's too much. It's too much. So if that's too much, work with a lawyer, redline the contract and say, we have to change some things. We have to talk. Find someone who can see your worth. By the way, for those that currently working, we see that you already have like an advocate. What you might be missing is the advocate. For those of you that are seeking work, there's someone that may know someone that can get you the job that you're looking at. So connect with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to overcome this, which could just be this self-defeatist block, like I'm tired of doing this, I can't do it. So instead of saying I can't do it, maybe I can't do it alone, or I don't want to do it alone, but I can do it with the help of somebody in my life. So moving to that able-minded thinking is going to be really important here. I think there's a chance to do something completely left of center. And speaking from experience, it's a lot of fun to just hit the TNT and like completely reboot everything. So that's what I did. Now it's almost been 10 years. And I just thought, I don't want to do this anymore. Look at the bird. Every time, like, it feels like it's a raven or a crow that keeps flying behind me. So There you go. Especially when we're talking about the death card, we keep seeing the birds. So listen to that. Listen to that intuition and say, if not now, then when in my life? What am I waiting for? When is it going to be the right time to go back to school, to change the career, to have a family? Whatever it is that you want to do. Something is coming through and the voice is saying now, right? All right. And can you find stuff? Yes, it's just a matter of not accepting something that is restrictive or unfair, unjust, not enough. You're worth more than that. Moving can help. Stop maybe looking in the same area, look in a different area. And show people some of your hidden skills. Bubble that up on your resume as well. Okay, shifting the focus to students. I really think it's important with the Devil card here to make sure that wherever you're going to school, you feel like you're able to speak your mind. Whatever course you're taking it because you want to. And if you want to change. If I could go back to my younger self, I probably would have changed majors and or maybe transferred schools in my undergraduate. I just pushed through because I was like, it's probably easier, and then I'll just do another degree. But I could have just changed in the undergraduate because 1 semester or 2 semesters in, and I was like, probably wrong school and wrong program, but I finished it anyway. And I learned a lot, but I probably would have changed it. You can change. You don't have to you can transfer the credits and go somewhere else if you want to. There's someone also that could be a gatekeeper here, and you could go to a different gatekeeper. So if I had to change advisors in graduate school, I had someone that was stubborn, and so I just went to the dean, and I was like, can you be my advisor? And she said, yes, I will. You can do it. It was bold. It was crazy, but it worked. I was like, if I'm going to go somewhere, I'll just go to the top, and I'll have the dean be my advisor. So it was at the final stage when I was doing my thesis. So if you need to change the point person, you can't always do it, but sometimes you can do it. So find a different way, make sure you're going the path that you want to go down, and say no if you don't want to. You can especially do it when you're younger because you have so much more time to course correct. Retirees, you are tired of being put in a box here. The Devil is this sort of energy of being stuck. Some of you feel like maybe you've been in the same place too long. You may have a desire to move, to travel, or you're tired. You might be sick of the relationship you're in. There's something here that's stagnating and stifling. And so the big opportunity in this week is to move beyond that. And you're finding your power. It's not so much your voice, but you're really getting independent in your thinking. The voice will probably follow. So what we see here is exposure to bigger ways of thinking, new ideas, new experiences. Maybe there's some new love coming through in your life. And there's a chance for you right now to say, you know what? I think I want to go in this direction. Again, independent thought and action is very much coming through here. Okay, because we're kind of hinting on it now. Let's look at relationships. Spirit Fox. Foxes are interesting. In tarot, they're typically connected to the 7 of Swords or the 5 of Swords. One of the decks that I use is the Wild Unknown, and I'm pretty sure that the 7 of Swords has the fox on it. So you really want to listen to your intuition when you're connecting with people and think, well, it says here, trust your talents in changing times. Also, trust your instincts. If you have challenging people that are around you, you know where they stand. You know what it's all about. And this is a time to really listen to that. All right, let me take a drink, and then we'll look at the 3 main categories here. Okay. For those currently in a relationship, the Devil here is definitely a control issue for many of you. One partner wanting to go in one direction, possibly an ultimatum. The Devil can simply be that. Someone saying, if you loved me, you would do this. Or if we can't do this, I don't want to stay. Sometimes ultimatums serve a purpose, but they are an ultimatum, and it is a play for control. The interesting thing here is that we have, if anyone can meet the Devil successfully in the minor arcana, the Queen of Wands can. she's going to look him in the eye and say, really? Oh, really? Let me tell you what I think about that. So you don't have to accept the ultimatum, or you can say, that's not fair. Literally, that's not fair. That's not fair to make me choose. And if you loved me, you wouldn't put that ultimatum in front of me. So this speaks more to you. You can just throw it right back at the person. Say that this speaks to your control issues. And if you get to that point, it's typically not a good thing. But the Queen of Wands and the Justice card are saying, flip it right back and say, I shouldn't have to choose. This shouldn't be what we're talking about. It's not fair. It's not just. It's not something that I wouldn't ask you to make that choice. You can put that right back out there if you need to, quote unquote, win that argument. But the more important thing here, is it worth that? I think there's a chance here to overcome a major challenge. So this could also be something completely out of your control. This could be a family member that passes away, and it's a major, this is what the apocalypse comes through. So when you lose a parent, a child, a loved one in your life, it's a major change. I went through that a couple years ago, and it never, once you've gone through it, you realize that you don't get over death. You learn to incorporate it into your life, and so this is a moment where the two of you can actually come closer and come together and start to really bond a little bit more. So a major change can it's going to do one or the other. You're either going to get closer or you're going to move in the other direction. And that's the choice this week, is to allow adversity and challenge to strengthen the relationship, or to kind of like fight with the one you love the most. So I can't tell you what to do, and there could be any number of things from the past that are coming through in this moment that are complicating that, but there is a chance to push back on something absurd, to realize also in some situations neither of you can control something, just to have a discussion, talk to one another, talk about what the next thing will be. And by the way, in a very healthy relationship, it's talking about things like death and what your wishes are. Maybe, like what should happen after you pass away. Make sure there's a life insurance policy. Make sure that you're looking at wills and trusts. You shouldn't be waiting until you're, in your older years to kind of deal with this. But if you are, deal with it now, and this is a good time. But it's better younger to talk about this and get it all laid out so that there's no questions. Earlier in the year, there was a relative that passed away, and I was talking to someone, and they're like, it's easy. Like, they laid it all out, from how much they wanted us to fight for them when they were in the hospital to what they wanted afterwards. And that took the stress off the partner. And I was like, that's actually a very loving thing to do, is to lay out all the plans. So talking about wills and trusts, it's not romantic, folks, but it's actually really kind and very loving, and very important in the long run as well, okay? And also just accepting that people change. That's the last thing for those in a relationship. This is a butterfly. I mean, there's literally a butterfly or a moth on this card right here. So the person you married is not going to necessarily be the person that you're with 15, 20, 30 years later. And you're looking at this and recalibrating and thinking, do I feel the same? Do you feel the same? Are we still in this? And I actually think that, that till death do us part, it's more symbolic. Until the changes are so much that we no longer recognize each other and maybe no longer want to connect on that path. But there may be a point where the person's changed beyond recognition, or vice versa. So anyway, that's what I'm getting here. Major shifts and changes. You get to decide if you want to stay or if you want to go. If you stay, it gets much stronger. If you go, liberation, reinvention, new opportunities. It is that kind of energy that I pick up on this week, or an external thing that you can't control that, again, you want to lean on each other for. For those looking for love this week, what I see is karma. The karma is right here. It's control. We see it in the bear with his claws. We see it in the devil with all the strings. And we see a chance to move beyond that. So in this lifetime, it has to be more in the unconditional energy. Like, love me as I am, love them as they are, and basically try not to cast judgment, literally judgment, upon one another, and try not to tell the person how to change. No strings attached. Not in like that you're not together, but just like you love the person unconditionally. That's the challenge karmically. If you're not ready for that when you meet the partner, then it might be time to to move in a different direction. Capricorn energy coming through, Leo energy coming through. I'm picking up on Scorpio too as I'm reading this. So there's a lot of choices this week. What are you looking for those that are looking for love? I think generally speaking, there's some cleanup in your own life to do. So moving away from people, places, partners, and opportunities that are controlling, deciding what it is that you want and really embracing that. As you make the move in that direction, that's when you'll bump into someone. And the energy most connected to that is Queen of Wands. So fire sign energy presenting itself. But I see a lot of karmic energy. Death and judgment are partners. That's definitely past life energy. And that's the karma. It's right between the two. Control. There could have been unrequited love in a past lifetime. You loved someone, they didn't love you back. You wanted to control someone, they didn't want to be controlled. There could just be someone that wasn't available. You loved someone, but they were married. By the way, be mindful of that. The devil in this can be an ex for some of you in a current relationship or that are looking for love. And in this case, better in the past. Leave that in the past. We're not repeating history and we're not revisiting the lessons. They're an ex for a reason. Let them stay an ex. Getting back in that energy it's not going to be beneficial based on what I'm seeing here. Okay? For those of you that are single and happy, good for you. As you can see, it's probably a good time to be single and happy. You can be focusing on bettering your health. You can be starting a new endeavor, maybe doing some overdue travel, going back to school, building some new relationships in your life, friendship, maybe even romantic. But for the most part, you get a chance to just clean the slate, and you don't have to worry about the other partner in this because you get to just sort of clear the slate yourself, which is good. Okay? All right. Let's move on to destiny. I want to look this up for its spiritual meanings. But we have mandrake coming through. It's a perennial herb with large tap roots that can grow to 2 feet in length. They emerge. Okay, let's see. And let's see. I wanted to see what the mythology of it was too. If it was killed, it would scream. That's kind of interesting too. All right. Anyway, the scream of death. Interesting. Initially used as an amulet for good luck. It's an aphrodisiac to treat infertility, but also has this scream of death. Okay, so this is interesting. With this coming through in your destiny, for some of you, yanking something up, uprooting yourself, there is this resistance. It's almost like you're afraid it's going to hurt more than it will. Tap roots are something that you see on plants like, what's the one where you blow it? Dandelions. And the reason that they're so resilient is if you just pull it from the ground, the taproot exists and it can grow another plant. So to make a change really last, because of this taproot, you have to go deeper than you thought, energetically, emotionally. You may be missing how deep something goes, how deep the connection is, how deep the habit goes. And it's saying, give it a little bit more time for the change to happen, particularly since this is connected to this. So the change will take longer than expected, but it will be worth the work. And if you pull out all of the taproot, this won't repeat. This cycle won't repeat. So really thinking, how did it happen? No, really, why did I end up here? And have I missed anything? Doing that extra bit of homework and research is going to be really, really beneficial for you in this moment in time. Okay? And love is associated with this. We talked about the aphrodisiac as well. The thing, though, with this, when I'm looking at the mandrake and the devil, I also feel like there could be someone that really wants to control things, control how quickly things happen, what's going on. The ultimatum energy comes forth as well. Okay? All right, let's take a look at a big idea, and then I'm going to ask the question, what are you missing? But the first thing is just whatever spirit wants us to see right now. What's the big idea for the week ahead? What should the central focus be? And then we'll ask the question of the special topic. We'll do 2 this week. All right, so this is for just the big idea, and then this is what are you missing? Okay, we got 2 3s. They're both good. So the big idea right now is 3 of Pentacles. Look at this beautiful illustration. So we have 3 tortoises at the top. We have 3 eggs here. Normally we would see 3 coins as well. But the 3 of Pentacles is mastery of a skill, finishing something to the point that it is complete, beautiful, exactly what you were looking for. You have the ability to really end something with a bang. So anything that you're trying to launch or do, you can do so amazingly well, okay? This is a card of education. So for those of you that are looking for training or for going back to school or for learning from someone, this is definitely connected to that. We also see a symbol of multiple things that could be coming forth. 3 of the 3 eggs, the 3 pentacles. You could be planting seeds that are going to be happening over the next 2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 months, or 2 or 3 weeks. There's a lot that's coming through, and you're not just putting 1 pentacle into the ground, you're putting 3. So you're thinking of short, long, and even like maybe a wild goose idea that may actually hatch. And I'm all for that. So don't limit yourself. Have a few irons in the fire or eggs here in the nest, and some great things could come forth. Guess what? They're going to take time. They're not going to happen overnight, okay? Now, what are you missing? For some of you, there could already be an answer or a connection, or this typically shows a ship coming in. It could be right here, right now. So one of those 3 things might be already here, but you're looking in the wrong direction. So the opportunity this week is to recalibrate first of all, it's not about if, it's about when. And why are you thinking it has to happen after something? So sometimes we say, well, first I'm going to go to school, then I'm going to get married, what if it's all jumbled up? What if you have a kid, then you get married, then you go to school? What if you have a job and then you go, nothing has to follow a certain pattern. It happens when it needs to happen, and it happens when it presents itself. So let go of having this perfect tapestry. It's a lot messier in real life. We have 3 butterflies on here, 3 moments of transformation and change. There's a lot going on right now. There's more than one portal, more than one opportunity that's opening up to you. So how open you are to the possibilities. Remember I said successful people see all the portals and go through them all at once. So you can do them all at once, or you can pick the one that's calling to you the most, but you're not limited. That's the takeaway from this whole reading today. This card wants you to feel limited. This card is saying you are unlimited. The devil hates it when we say that. Too bad. Wrong channel for that kind of energy here. We're going to talk about liberation. So you have a lot of options in front of you if you allow yourself to try those different options. Okay? All right. Let's take a moment now to meditate. But before we do it, I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe before we get too deep into the meditation. And if you want to give a super sticker or super chat, you can do that as well. We'll talk more about that in a minute. First things first, let's meditate. This is going to be a brief guided meditation, and then I will pull one last card. This can be a question that you still have for me. Take a moment, if you will, close your eyes, and let go of everything that you've been holding on to. Let's imagine that it's twilight, and you can see the sun, the reflection of the sun just going beneath the surface of the water here in the distance. You can see like a river or a lake. And as it starts to go down, you feel the cool of the night starting to come in. And initially, you're a little bit nervous because it's dark, but suddenly you start to see fireflies. And then you look up to the sky and you can see the stars twinkling in. So there's these sort of living stars around you in the form of the fireflies, and then there's the twinkling stars above. And just like the hermit, imagine that you have your own lantern and you pull that up as well. And it's a reflection of the light within. Even in the darkness, even in the most challenging moments, we can find inner light. I want you to hold that lantern in front of you and just imagine that with each breath that you take, the light grows brighter, the light grows stronger, and then imagine you could pull that close and kind of allow the lantern to imprint on the heart space so that every beat of your heart is like a lighthouse spinning around, helping you see things, helping you navigate from a tricky situation, knowing that you are the source. You're the source of inspiration. You're the source of light. Take a few deep breaths and allow that heart light to shine wherever it needs to on a person, place, or thing that you want to call into your life. Single that out. Feel the connection, feel the worth, and speak your wish into existence. Don't keep it secret. Whatever it is that you want this week, do something to bring it one one step closer to reality. Take a few deep breaths, enjoy the environment that we've built here with the fireflies, the star, and the lantern. And on the third inhale and exhale, I'd like you to gently open your eyes and focus now, if you will, on the final question that you have for me. Okay. If you haven't already done so, open your eyes. Your final card for today is the Chariot. And that was like right at the beginning, I pulled the Chariot. We're talking about it again. And so the Chariot is a choice of direction. It's a choice to kind of step into the driver's seat and say, this is where I want to go. This is how I want to do it. This is the path that I want to take. It's also a battle cry, right? Like the Chariot in old Roman times was something that you would see leading the charge. So if you want something, you can fight for it. You can make it happen this week. You are stronger than you think, but it does require leadership. Leadership is what's necessary. So yes, but if you're willing to do the work and fight for it, that's the answer. And again, just that there may be some challenges this week when it comes to authority, decision-making, etc. Okay? What a powerful reading, guys. Again, a simple like or subscribe helps this channel. So if you enjoyed this reading today, please do me a favor and show some love. I do appreciate it. You can also follow me on social media. It's Nicholas Ashbaugh on all major platforms. And just a reminder, I do not offer any private readings or do direct messages to people that follow me. So there are imposters out there. If you see them, block and report, and stay safe, okay? If you ever need more information about me, you can go to my website. Thanks to all those that gave back in the form of super stickers and super chat. In fact, I want to take a couple moments here to call out all of those contributors. First and foremost, though, everybody's welcome. Just showing up and watching, that's enough, and I'm just glad you're here. So thank you for doing that. All right, let's say thanks to everybody that participated. I saw a lot of gifted memberships, so we'll talk about that in just a moment. But first things first, I'm going to welcome all members, whether new, old, or gifted. Here we go. All right, I'm just waiting for the page to load. Here we go. All right, so today we have quite a few. Rosalind, Melanie, D. Wayne, Josos, Tara, Karen, Sarika, Josie, Enzo, and Jet. Thank you all. And I recognize a lot of names here from the past. Good to see you all here again. All right, let's go ahead and say a little bit of extra thanks to those that gifted and also celebrate anniversaries. So let's see. Vanessa, thank you for 3 months of membership. Good to have you here. Sammy, thank you for 22 months, almost 2 years. That's awesome. Thank you. And I'm glad you're here for the live as well. Good to have you here. Let's see. Colette, you are awesome for gifting those 5 memberships. Welcome to everybody that got gifted from that. Thank you. Karen Connolly, oh my gosh, 42 months. That is amazing. And you have all the tips on that crown there. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. I remember you through the pandemic as well. Let's see. Lucy, thanks for gifting a membership. That was really kind. Let's see. Quiet Play, gifting a membership as well. Thank you. And by the way, just thank you to Liv, who gave your first super here. We'll talk more about that in a second. But Misha, 5 memberships as well. Marjorie, 33 months. Thank you for all you do as well. I appreciate you showing up here. And Mira Aziz for being a member for 7 months. All right, let me take a moment to thank all those that gave back with a super sticker or a super chat. All right. Let's see who is participating today. We have Ralu, 15. Thank you so much. Rosie, Stacy, Jeannie, Allison, Phoebe, Amithaba, Lucy, Amy, Rafaela, Jackie, or JC, Lisa, Monica, Liv, Misha, and Ruby Red. And thank you, Misha, for the 50. I really appreciate that. And let's see, I think I got everybody. I try. Sometimes I miss one, but I'm sure Dakota caught it. And if not, I will see it on the replay when I go through and look at all of the comments. That's everything, folks. Again, thank you for a magical reading today. It was my pleasure to be able to facilitate it for you. Lots of love from Apollo, who's been snoozing on the couch in the background. All of you will ask, where's the dog? He's resting. Take care, everybody. I'll see you here every Sunday. We'll have several videos coming out this week. I'll be catching up, so keep an eye on the main channel page. And in the meantime, wishing you lots of love and light. Thank you.